Hey everyone, Gary here from the band Elysiums, back again with my channel, Gary of the Elysiums. I'm doing part two of my complete CD collection. Now, if you didn't see part one, if you want, you can go back and watch it. But as always, please subscribe, please support my channel. And by subscribing, you'll be able to see all the updates every time I post a video, such as this one. And since this is part two of many to come, I'm gonna get right into it. I explained a lot of things in the beginning of my first video, about how I used to have a lot more, had to sell some stuff for some personal reasons. A lot of my stuff, I had the original copy and a remaster came out, or a deluxe edition, and so I kind of switched them out and put the deluxe edition or the remastered version in here. So the first video I started with went from AC/DC all the way to the end of Black Sabbath. So right now we're starting right back to where we are, leaving after Black Sabbath. Right in the Blackfoot, this is Blackfoot Strikes, the only album I own by Blackfoot, Southern rock band. Here we have Bleeding Through. This is Love, This is Murderous. I'm a bigger fan of Bleeding Through's albums. I think it's Declaration and The Truth, which is really good. So, didn't pick them up yet. This one I'll try to censor. It's a Blind Faith's only studio album. It is the uncensored cover there. I'm going to block it so I don't get banned on YouTube. Next up, we are getting into some Blind Melon. Oh, sorry about that. All right, got the debut album, Soup, my Nico. I think Soup is my favorite by Blind Melon, and then the last one they did with Trevor on lead vocals after Shannon passed away. We got some Blondie, got probably their best album, Parallel Lines, Best of Blondie, one of the first heaviest albums of all time, Vince Buster Ruptum by Blue Cheer. Here we got Blue Murder on Rock Handy Records, John Sykes Band with Carmine Peace. Now we're getting into Blue Oyster Cult. Got their debut album. We got Tyranny and Mutation. Secret Treaties, my favorite by Blue Oyster Cult. The live album, On Your Feet or On Your Knees. The one that really broke them through, Agents of Fortune, has Don't Fear the Reaper on there, which we all know. Spectre's amazing album. This features Godzilla on it. Here we have a remastered edition of Some Enchanted Evening. Now this is out of print, so it actually took me a while to get this. I actually had I actually bought the original version. It wasn't remastered, only to come to find out the wrong disc was inside. So I kind of took me a while to get this import. We have Mirrors. I hate that they do this. I hope they remaster it. They only remastered some of Blue Oyster Cults, but I hate this border around it. I think they did remaster that in the those bigger series that make it look like a vinyl CD. And we have let's just round out the Blue Oyster Cult here. We have Cultosaurus Erectus. This is Fire of Unknown Origin. Great album. Burning for Use on that one. And the last one owned by them is Extraterrestrial Live. Well, not the last one, but I own this is Don't Fear the Reaper, the best of Blue Oyster Cult. And some 90s stuff here. We have, I think everyone owns this, Blues Traveler 4. I have Blur, Bark Life, and I have Blur, the best of Blur. This is a 2-disc set. I really don't listen to it all. Now, for some reason, I have a lot of Bon Jovi CDs, and I don't really think I listen to them. I'll throw on like the first 4 here and there, but I don't know why I have so many, to be honest with you. We have the debut album, which actually it's just John Bon Jovi, Richie Sambora, and the rest of the band that actually play on it. 7800 Degrees Fahrenheit. This is a decent album. Their sophomore, obviously their big one, Slippery When Wet, New Jersey, and this is the soundtrack from Young Guns 2. This is John Bon Jovi solo, Blaze of Glory. So these two actually were my dad's. I've been listening to them my whole life. And then we have Keep the Faith. Sorry, I get a little glare on there. I just try to get, it's a little dark down here, so I just want to get a little more light. And this is the Greatest Hits, Crossroads. Features Always on there, which is like one of my guilty pleasures. And then I could take the rest of Bon Jovi out here. This is These Days. I think this is like 95. And then this is their Comeback Crush from 2000. This is Bounce. This Left Feels Right, which I think is like countrified acoustic. re-recordings of their songs, and this is Have a Nice Day. So like I said, I don't know why I have such a big Bon Jovi collection. I don't really listen to later stuff. Then we have Boston, one of the best debut albums of all time. Their follow-up, Don't Look Back, and this is Third Stage. Just the three I own by Boston. Now we're getting into some Bowie, the debut album, Space Oddity, or just self-titled David Bowie, The Man Who Sold the World, Hunky Dory, great albums. One of my favorite albums of all time, The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and The Spiders from Mars. The follow-up, which is amazing, Aladdin Sane. Then we have Pin-Ups, which is basically a covers album. Diamond Dogs, another great Bowie album that I really love. I feel like it's underrated. We have Young Americans. Bowie kind of switched up, became this soul man, and the Thin White Duke, Station to Station, Low, Heroes, Lodger, another underrated album by Bowie. And then we're getting in the 80s with Scary Monsters, and he kind of had that 80s pop vibe going on. And here we have Let's Dance, probably his best one from the 80s. Kind of a weird cover though. I get the reference, Let's Dance. Song's great. Modern Love, which is amazing, is on here, but he's kind of dressed as a boxer. Let's Dance as he's going to fight. Earthling, kind of a weird album in the vein of kind of 9 Inch Nails. He actually toured with 9 Inch Nails and Trent Reznor. I think he remixed some stuff on here. He definitely worked on here. And Best of Bowie, this is cool. I remember getting this when it came out. It's probably like 2002, I believe. 2002, and one of the best compilations out there. And this is Reality, last thing I own by Bowie. I don't have any of the later stuff really. And here we have the Breeders, Kim and Kelly Deal from the Pixies, twin sisters there. Well, Kim's from the Pixies. Jackson Browne, For Every Man. Jackson Browne, The Pretender. Jackson Browne, Run on Empty. And here's a compilation. This is the best of The Next Voice You Hear, Jackson Browne. All right, let's turn this a little bit so you get a better view. Okay, we got two from Buckcherry, self-titled debut. I love Lit Up when it came out. It's one of my favorite songs when that came out. It's just amazing. And then 15, their big album. We got some Jeff Buckley here. Gonna take all these out. This is the original Live at Chennai. It's not the deluxe edition, which is pretty easy to find. This one's kind of rare. But I do have the deluxe edition, Legacy edition, I should say, of Grace. 2 discs. Second disc has a lot of alternate takes on it, unreleased songs, and it comes with a DVD. The Making of Grace, and some videos from the album. And kind of cool documentary with Jeff talking also on there. This is a single import made in Australia, Eternal Life. 1, 2, 3, 4 tracks on here. There's a live and acoustic version of Last Goodbye. Same with Lover You Still Come Over. This is another import from Australia. This is called the Grace EP. Basically, it's the Grace single. It features 4 tracks, including Grace Live, Mojo Pin Live, Hallelujah Live. This is sketches for My Sweetheart the Drunk. This is basically the songs he had recorded that were going to be his next album, but unfortunately passed away. Then we have the live album, Mystery White Boy, and another live album. This is live at L'Olympia. Live at L'Olympia. Next up, Budgie. This is the MCA albums, 1973 to 75. Kind of mini box set here. So it features Never Turn Your Back on a Friend, In for the Kill, and Bandolier. The only 3 albums I own by Budgie. You're probably going to expand that, especially with their early albums. Great heavy band that doesn't get enough recognition. I feel like Metallica actually put them on the map later years by covering Bread Fan, Crash Course, and Brain Surgery. Next up, we got 2 from Buffalo Springfield, their debut album. This is an HD CD remaster, which actually features the complete album in mono and stereo on 1 disc. And their follow-up, Buffalo Springfield again. We got Bullet Boys' sophomore album. This is called Freak Show. A little heavier than their debut album, which is just straight up glam pop metal. And here we got the Bush collection. Of course, we got 16 Stone, Razorblade Suitcase, This is Deconstructed. I'm a fan of Bush, but this album I don't really like. It's like remixes and stuff like that. You know, it was the 90s, especially the late 90s. Here Comes the Science of Things, Golden State, and this one's cool. I always like this one. This is called Zen X4 or Zen 10-4, Zen times 4, however you say it. It's basically a DVD with a bonus CD, which features some live acoustic stuff like Come Down, Glycerin, Everything Zen. It's basically all live stuff from 16 Stone and acoustic versions of stuff from 16 Stone. Then we have Sea of Memories, and to round it out, Man on the Run. I was gonna say Man on the Moon there. All right, we got a couple left in B, and looks like they're all gonna be the Birds. Mr. Tambourine Man, Turn, 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 Fifth Dimension, Younger Than Yesterday, Notorious Bird Brothers, one of my favorite albums of all time, Sweetheart of the Rodeo, and this is Further Along. I think this is like the last, not the last, because they did release the self-titled Birds album, which was the reunion with David Crosby. But I believe before that it was, you know, their second to last album before the reunion. All right, oh, actually, one more Birds album. This is 20 essential tracks from the box set 1965 to 1990. So let me change my B there. So we're getting into the C's. Cactus, one way or another, 70s hard rock band. I'm sure a lot of people know Cactus. Great band. Some 90s guilty pleasure here. Cake, Fashion Nugget. Great prog album. This is Camel Mirage. This is the UK cover. Candlebox, self-titled debut album, and then their follow-up Lucy. And then we're getting into one of my favorite death metal bands. Probably my second favorite death metal band. Unfortunately, this was a band that I had to sell off, and their stuff's harder to get, and this is all I own of them right now. Butchered at Birth, the Cannibal Corpse, by the way. Tomb of the Mutilated, Bloodthirst. This is Live Cannibalism, and their newest album, Violence Unimagined. I'm a bigger fan of the Barnes era as opposed to the George Corpse Grinder era, so I'm trying to find, you know, the Bleeding and Eating Back to Life, that stuff, before I get into the rest of the George stuff. Then we have Jerry Cantrell's debut solo album, Boggy Depot. We've got some Cars here, another one of the greatest debut albums of all time, The Cars. And then we got Heartbeat City, Cars Greatest Hits. And this is the Cars Anthology, just what I needed to this set. Great band here. Got these new remasters: Celtic Frost, Morbid Tales, to Megatherion, and Into the Pandemonium. After this, I really don't feel like there's much to listen to by them. Although Monotheist, which came out, I believe in 2006, is a pretty decent album. Let's go to movie once again, so we got a better view of the CDs here. Okay, cool. All right, now we're getting into Cheap Trick. Got their debut album, In Color. Heaven Tonight, at Budokan, obviously. Dream Police. This is Lap of Luxury. And this is Budokan 2. This is actually, if you watch my first video, I mentioned I picked up some stuff on Facebook Marketplace, 50 cents. And this is another one I picked up for 50 cents. I still didn't listen to this yet. I actually didn't know this existed. It came out in 93, which is kind of weird. Okay, then we got Chevelle's debut album, Wonder What's Next. The only thing I really like by Chevelle, not that they're a bad band, I just don't really listen to much of them all. We got Chicago Transit Authority, their debut album, Chicago 2, and this is only the beginning, the very best of Chicago. And one more for Chicago, this is a Christmas album I've got. What's it gonna be, Santa? Chicago Christmas. I remember getting this for $1 and it was brand new, still sealed, so that's why I picked it up. We got a Chickafoot there. I'm actually gonna put Chickafoot up there for a while to make this easier to get out. Cinderella, their debut album, Night Songs. Great 80s band that got lumped in with the hair metal, and unfortunately they were so much more, and unfortunately they got lumped in. Lone Cold Winter, Heartbreak Station, and this is called Once Upon a Time. Not Once Upon a Time, just Once Upon a. It's basically a greatest hits compilation. All right, now I got a decent number of Clapton records, so we're gonna get right into them. but his debut album, my favorite by him. This is just called Eric Clapton Simply. Another great live album. This is Eric Clapton's Rainbow concert. Was basically, he said he was going to go into retirement, so that's what this was. It didn't really work out because then he released this masterpiece the next year, 461 Ocean Boulevard. Slow Hand, another great album. Backless. And this is Timepieces, the best of Eric Clapton. I feel like everyone owns this. Everyone's parents own that. Alright, now we got, to follow that up, Timepieces Volume 2. This is actually a live album, live in the 70s. This is Behind the Sun. Okay, Forever Man's on that. Decent album. August. Then I have the Crossroads box set, all 4 discs. But again, just like the Allman I mentioned earlier, there was 3 box sets I bought. The Allman Brothers Dreams, Crossroads, and then the Crosby, Stills, and Nash box set. But there was no box or booklet with them, but they cost me $4 a piece, so I couldn't really say no to that. Then we have Journeyman from '89. Write this down, put on the 80s. We're gonna finish off Clapton here. 24 Nights. This was in one of those double, those sticks boxes, but I just put it in one case to make it easier. So it didn't take up so much room. Eric Clapton Unplugged, great album. From the Cradle. It's a compilation, The Cream of Clapton. This is cool because it's got stuff with Cream, it's got stuff with Blind Faith on there, Derek and the Dominoes, and his solo stuff. Pilgrim, his later 90s album, which sold pretty well for him. Blues, this is a 2 CD compilation of basically his greatest blues songs. Clapton Chronicles, best of Eric Clapton. This is a late 90s solo, basically of his 90s songs. I don't think there's any, oh yeah, there's some 80s stuff in there, but basically just 90s and 80s and 90s on that. B.B. King and Eric Clapton, Rider with the King. Reptile, our live album. This is One More Car, One More Rider. This is his tribute to Robert Johnson, me and Mr. Johnson, and rounded out I got J.J. Cale and Eric Clapton, The Road to Escondido. Alright there, so that's gonna finish off this shelf. I'll fix that later. Let's move back over here while the video is still going and we can get right into this. We're still continuing with the C's, and we're getting into Clash. We got their debut album. This is the UK edition. This is Give 'Em Enough Rope, London Calling, masterpiece, Sandinista, double disc set, and Combat Rock. And some new metal here with Coal Chamber's debut album and their follow-up, Chamber Music. Audio 1 by Joe Cocker, just as great as hits. Not the best one, something cheap I picked up. Some more new metal, which I think kind of holds up. Cold, the debut album, and 13 Ways to Bleed on Stage, to follow up. Really good album. I loved that when it came out. Got a couple from Collective Soul, which I really don't listen to it all anymore. Hints, Allegations, and Things Left Unsaid, their debut. Their self-titled album, Discipline Breakdown, and this is Dosage. Now we have Phil Collins, Face Value. This is Hello, I Must Be Going. No Jacket Required, and this one's just simply called Hits. Okay, now we're gonna get an Alice Cooper. I'm a big Alice Cooper fan, so I do have a good number of Alice Cooper records, but I don't know them all, or CDs, I should say. His debut album, Pretty's For You. This is Easy Action. Love to Death, my favorite by Alice Cooper. There's 3 ones I love by Alice Cooper. It's always hard for me to pick one, but I usually go to Love to Death. Killer is another one I love by him. One of my top 3. School's Out and $1 Billion Babies. They're 3 I love. Amazing albums by Alice Cooper. Never get old for me. Then we have the follow-up to that, Muscle of Love, and then Alice Cooper's Greatest Hits. This will round out the Alice Cooper's band, and he kind of went solo after that with Welcome to My Nightmare. This is Alice Cooper Goes to Hell, The Alice Cooper Show live CD. Great live CD to show off Alice, what he was back then. He was such a, trailblazer. Lace and Whiskey. This is From the Inside. Amazing. I always love this cover. Flush the Fashion. Unfortunately, I don't own Dada. It's out of print. It's really tough to get, but I need to get my hands on that. Special Forces. This is Zipper Catches Skin. And Constrictor, this is kind of when he made his comeback. The ones before that were kind of his blackout era. Yeah, when Alice made his 80s comeback. This is Raise Your Fist and Yell. And we have Trash. This was his biggest of the 80s, a big seller. The track Poison was all over MTV, all over radio. Alice was a big comeback again with that. And Hey Stupid, another one. We have The Last Temptation. This is from 94, I believe. It's a pretty heavy album. Yeah, 94. Then this is called Alice Cooper Classics. It's basically a compilation. It's got some live stuff on there and some unreleased tracks. Brutal Planet, brutal CD, very heavy. As is this one too, Dragon Town. So his early 2000s stuff is pretty heavy. I really like that a lot. And we have The Eyes of Alice Cooper, Dirty Diamonds. Along Came a Spider, and his newest one, Detroit Stories. Alice Cooper, another artist I got to get a lot more of to complete the collection. You got Chris Cornell with Euphoria Morning, Carry On, and the self-titled Greatest Hits compilation by Chris Cornell. Features stuff from Soundgarden, Audioslave, his solo career. Elvis Costello, My Aim Is True. Elvis Costello and the Attractions, this year's model. Elvis Costello and the Attractions again, Armed Forces, Imperial Bedroom, and very best of Elvis Costello and the Attractions. Some more stuff from the 90s here. I love these guys back to the 90s, but I don't really listen to them much anymore. Counting Crows, August and Everything After, Covering the Satellites, Live, Across the Wire Live in New York City. This features an MTV show and of VH1 Storytellers. This Desert Life, Hard Candy. This later stuff, I was really just a big fan of Counting Crows' first two albums, not anything that really came after that. And we have a compilation here. This is Films About Ghosts, the best of. Okay, here Coverdale Page, David Coverdale, Jimmy Page, obviously. Cracker, Kerosene Hat, Cradle of Filth, Dusk and Her Embrace. This is the only one I own by them, but I do love Thornography and Midian. This is Cramps. Rockin' Reelin', Fuckland, New Zealand, something like that. Whatever else doing about So Why Can't We, the Cranberries, and No Need to Argue about the Cranberries. Trying to finish out these C's so the video doesn't go too long. Crash Test Dummies, God Shuffle His Feet. Here we have some stuff by Cream. Fresh Cream, Israeli Gears, Wheels of Fire, Goodbye Cream, Live Cream Volume 2, and Strange Brew, the very best of Cream. And here's a band everyone hates on, but you know what? It's a guilty pleasure. Creed, My Own Prison. This is the only one I'll listen all the way through. There might be 2 or 3 tracks off this. Human Clay that I like. Same thing with this. Weathered. A couple tracks. Here we got Creedence Clearwater Revival. I'm a big fan of them. I got all the I rebought the stuff remastered. Their debut album. Bayou Country. Green River. Willie and the Poor Boys, my favorite by them. Cosmos Factory. Pendulum. I didn't get Mardi Gras yet because I'm waiting for it to come out remastered if it ever does. Chronicle, amazing album. Chronicle 2, and this is really good. This is live Woodstock. Obviously live album. Excuse me, here we got Jim Croce, Photograph Memories, his greatest hits. Cool to throw this on once in a while. Crosby, Stills and Nash, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Deja Vu, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Four-Way Street. So far, kind of the greatest hits with Ohio's on there. And here's the other box set I was talking about. This one was just called CSN, I believe, the box set. $4, got all 4, no box, no booklet, but whatever. The only thing I own by the Cult for some reason, Pure Cult, the singles 1984 to 1995. And to round out the C's and probably to end the video, we're just going to do some Cure here. Boys Don't Cry, 17 Seconds, Head on the Door. Staring at the Sea, the singles from I believe 79 to 85. Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me. Obviously we got Disintegration, Wish, Galore, which is the singles from 85 to 97 or 95 or something like that, I believe. And the last one, kind of a cool album, late album for them. This is Bloodflowers. I think it was released in 2000. Like a heavy goth album. So yeah, this is part 2. I finished up B's, went through all the C's, and part 2 I'll start with the D. Like I was saying before, please subscribe to this to my channel. Like the video, you'll be able to see every time I do another video. I did 2 today, and who knows when I'll be doing the 3rd part. I kind of want to knock this out. I enjoy doing it, so I enjoy showing off my collection. And you know, if you want, in the comments, drop a link to your collection. I always like to see other people's collections. I think it's really cool, and it's cool for, you know, the community of us that still listen to CDs, that still embrace CDs, that still buy them, to you know, just to show off our collections. Anyway, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. This is part 2, and part 3 is coming very soon. Goodbye.